Great. Well, hello everyone. Something absolutely amazing happened to me the night of my 50th birthday. I'll tell you a story about one of the most memorable life experiences that I've ever had, and it happened 9 months ago, almost to the day. It was nothing I planned, it was nothing I predicted, but for me, it was the scene of a movie of my life, if a movie like that ever was made. But anyway, a story. A story about unresolved endings, and a story about unexpected new beginnings. Let's rewind. Summer, 1986. I'm 13 years old, decent enough at baseball, but not quite good enough to be the baseball player that I wanted to be beyond my Little League final season. Because, after August 1986, I was aging out of Little League, and I feared I just wouldn't be good enough to make the school team in 7th grade. I had enough self-awareness to know that even though I loved baseball more than anything, I wasn't going to fulfill my dream to be center fielder of the New York Yankees, let alone third left outfielder for the John Jay Indians. The thought of being cut during baseball tryouts was just something I just didn't want to deal with, and I didn't want to experience that and have it haunt me forever. So I decided to play tennis instead, which I was better at. But anyway, that's completely an aside. The whole point here is that some random summer day in August 1986 was going to be the last baseball game I'd ever play in my life. The last. The end. I sort of knew it, but I didn't want to let it soak all in, and I didn't want to get all emotional about it. For years since, I wished I did. I wish I knew what that ending was. What was the last ball that I ever fielded? What was the last hit that I ever got? What was the last game that we played? Did we win? Did we lose? I don't know, and I wish I did. That ending has always been unresolved. I just wasn't emotional back then the way I would be 36 and 11/12 of a year later on my 50th birthday. So back to the story. A story. Fast forward. It's my birthday, my 50th birthday, July 30th, 2023. I didn't want to have a fancy meal for this birthday. I didn't want anything crazy. I just wanted my favorite hamburger place, the Blazer Pub, just north of Katona, New York, where I grew up. The place as a kid that we'd go to often, and we'd wolf down the fattest, juiciest, best hamburgers in the world with sauteed onions and bacon, of course. Turkey bacon, not turkey bacon. We went to the Blazer, and I wanted to go with my wife, with my son, with my daughter, but also with my parents. I hadn't been there with my parents in 20 plus years, and so we went, and it was amazing. And as we walked out of the Blazer Pub, I said, you know what, let's drive through town. For old time's sake, let's drive through Katona. When's the next time we're going to get to do that together? So we drove through Katona, and I said, let's drive past our old house that I grew up in, that we haven't been back at together in so many years. For the same reason, when are we going to get to do that again? So we drove past our house, and I said, let's drive past my old elementary school, right down the road. I haven't been back there in so many years. Let's drive past. You used to walk me to school. So we drove past the elementary school, and I said, the old Little League field, Katona Little League field, was behind the school, and I haven't been back there in 40 plus years. The field I started playing at in kindergarten and all the way through the program. Let's go visit the Little League field. Let's go visit the Little League field. We have to do that. So we drive up the road behind the school, and it's this twisty, turny, lopsided road, and everything's sort of overgrown and narrow and vacant, but we're here. We drive up to the entrance, and shock. The baseball field is gone. I stare out the car window with my jaw just dropped down low enough to catch the tear that's welling up in my eye. The baseball field is gone. It's gone. It's just a soccer field now? They got rid of the baseball field? I mean, soccer? I'm not interested in soccer. They destroyed the baseball field. There's no baseball field anymore. It's gone, gone, gone. My mom says, Greg, come on. You're crazy. Let's get out of the car and look. Let's get out and look. It's been a long time. We're all old now. Maybe we're mistaken. Maybe we're confused and the baseball field's on the other side and we just can't see it from here. Let's get out of the car. So we get out of the car and I look and it's just not there. It's gone. It's just a soccer field. It's gone. There's no more infield dirt. There's no more dugouts. There's no more bases. There's no pitcher's mound. Nothing. Just a soccer field. So I walk closer. And I'm teary-eyed. I'm angry. I feel betrayed. That of which I held so sacred to me is gone and was ripped away. And then, pause. Oh my gosh. A miracle. I see a miracle. I see a miracle. Home plate is still there. Someone decided to leave it there. They knew I was coming back. And I cried and I smiled and I cried again and I laughed. Home plate is still here. I stood at home plate, that plate that I stood at as a kid all those years ago, and I pretended I was batting. How good does this feel? I'm standing there at the plate batting, and then my dad, my Little League coach from all those years ago, he leaned over, and my dad's giving me batting tips, just like he did when I was a little boy. And I'm standing there, and I picture this imaginary pitch coming in, and I swing my imaginary bat, and I heard that great sound of my childhood bat hitting the ball, and I smiled so grandly as that imaginary ball hit my imaginary bat, and I ran the path. Of what would have been the bases around that field if that field was still here today. Jumping up and down, rounding third and coming home, it was a sight I will never forget. Abby and Dylan and Nicole, my kids and my wife and my parents, they were all there at home plate to celebrate with hugs and high fives and sheer happiness. What a moment. So with that, an ending. A proper ending, finally, to my Katonah Little League baseball career. My final Little League at-bat, the ending I never quite experienced back in 1986, and for years wished I did. This also marked the beginning of what will now be a new tradition in my family, a new tradition of visiting our old Little League fields here in Hastings for inspiration on special days, to celebrate important birthdays. It's something we will do. It's something we will do on milestones because I'll never forget that moment. My field, my town, my childhood, and my family. Somebody left home plate there for me for one more moment. That decision someone took and probably had to fight really hard for created a life moment and a life memory for me, and I hope it does the same for others. But this is not just about baseball, and this is not just about Katonah Little League. This is a story about unresolved endings and how sometimes you actually can go back and you can create the ending you wished for, but you can also create new beginnings. Most of you know that I've been lucky enough to coach my kids all through Hastings Little League since kindergarten, and also more than 100 other kids here in the local community. And I hope that they too can maybe come back to Hastings on their 25th birthday, on their 50th birthday, and have a moment like I had. But I urge everyone, go back to somewhere special in your life. You don't have to wait till you're 50. You don't have to wait till you're 100. You can do it tomorrow. There's always an opportunity to create that final at-bat. So yes, there's no place like home. Home plate, where dreams begin, where seasons end, but also a place to come back to, whether to resolve an ending or create a new beginning. After all, the Torah does begin with the phrase, in the beginning.
Thank you so much, Greg.